Well, hello YouTube, this is Cool Dude coming back again, and today I'm going to rant about how crappy my camera is. Yep, this is the camera that I normally use for my YouTube videos. In case you're wondering how I'm recording this right now, I'm using my beated up Sony handycam, which still works, but the tape on it doesn't. Anyway, this camera is a complete piece of tat. The only redeeming feature about this camera is that it is in high def. See on there, it is a high definition camera. Full HD, and that is no lie, it really does do full HD. So that's really the only good thing about this camera, but everything else makes it absolute crap. This camera has got just about the most grainiest picture and muffled sound. In fact, the sound isn't very clear at all on this camera that I've ever experienced with any camera at all. Now let's just turn it on here. See, it says there, boasts high definition. Oh, there's me. Better not have that on the screen or break it. Now this can record 1080 and 720 high def. We'll go into the menu here. This is another nice feature it has. I'm just going to have to turn the camera's exposure down because it's too bright for this camera. Now this camera has several different resolutions it can record at. It's QVGA, which is about the same as a webcam. WVGA, which is DVD. 720 and 1080, which are high definition resolutions. Now if you're going to make high definition video with this camera, you might just as well use 1080 because 720 sucks. I think it's just WVGA but upscaled. In fact, if I make a recording at 1080 on this, then scale it down to 720, it looks better than the recording that I made on this camera at 720. So I'm now going to make a couple of recordings on this camera to demonstrate that. I'm now recording on the high definition camera at 720 on 720 high def. This, what you can see here, is the camera that I was just using to film myself, and you can see it is connected up to the TV. Now we're just going to do a little sweep of the room here to give you a demonstration of the quality of this camera. I need to tidy up in here actually. Now we're going to go to 720 high def, and now we're going to go to 1080 high def and make another recording. Now recording at 1080. We're going to go the other way now. Now this will be scaled down to 720 when I edit it, so both the recordings that I made from this camera will be the same size, and you'll see that this recording that you're watching right now is much better than the other recording I made with this camera, even though they are now both at the same resolution. And we're back to the beated up Sony handycam with the tape tray that's come out and simply will not go back in. So there you go, there's the quality comparison of the two high definition recording modes of this camera. This has got just about the worst autofocus I've ever experienced on any camera. In fact, it's designed so badly, it's constantly seeking, and it affects the zoom. It makes the picture look like it's zooming in and out while it focuses. Talking of zoom, it claims to have 20 times super zoom. At least this camera will focus. But that's not optical zoom. That's not optical zoom, that's digital zoom. And we all know digital zoom is absolutely just, terrible. In fact, when you're doing video, this will only zoom 2 times optical before it has to go into digital zoom. If you're doing photos, it can go up to 5 times without having to go into a digital zoom. So if it can do 5 times with photos, why not 5 times with video? It is a 5 times optical zoom lens, you can see right there. 5 times optical zoom. And the zoom on this thing is so slow and unresponsive. Let me just give you a demonstration here. Sort of zoom in and out on this camera. If I can get my hand out of the way. Just zoom in and out on this camera. You see how slow that zoom is? It's not very easy to see on, but that is just an awfully slow zoom. And sometimes it doesn't even respond. See, I'm actually holding the thing there and it wasn't even doing anything that time. And sometimes it zooms about 5 minutes after you actually use the zoom control, whereas the handycam, it's got an absolutely wonderful zoom on it. It even features variable speed, so I can zoom slowly or I can zoom quickly. Now let me show you how awful this camera is in low light. I'm now going to turn one of the lights off, because I've got 2 big fluorescent lights lighting up the room, because you need a ton of light for this camera. In fact, these 2 fluorescent lights are practically blindingly bright, and even that's not enough light to make this shoot good, because if you shoot outside with this camera in daylight, it does actually do pretty good pictures. I mean, the broadcast quality good, but in artificial indoor light it's just awful. I'm going to shoot this camera. Now I've switched over to the high def camera. That's the light, only light that's on at the moment, that fluorescent light up there. This is the other one. And you can see how grainy this picture is. There's my reel-to-reel tape recorder. Practically have to be in the other room to film something with this camera, because the wide angle is it's always so close on this thing. Now I'm going to turn both lights out. Now both lights are out, and on the screen here you can still see that the handycam is still able to see me, even though the lights are completely out. But this camera cannot see me at all. There's the TV screen. Go over to me. Cannot see me at all. This camera is absolutely pathetic. And I never ask for your opinion. So that just about sums it up for this camera. If you want a crappy camera, this is the one to get. I don't know what brand it is. I think it's a Speed. I think it did have a label on there, but it rubbed off. So, I mean, come on, this is a digital camera. Isn't digital supposed to have the most clearest and detailed picture you can have with absolutely wonderful sound? I'm sticking with analog. Better than this thing.
You make me wanna rant!